Good morning, YouTube. Today I'll be profiling my Paleozoic deck profile. This is a pretty darn budget version. There's a few cards in here that are not budget, but those are easily substituted. Let's I have like a totally awesome, but you don't have to. This is not a toad variant, like that runs the regular frogs, but I run other stuff since I'm a more active player. Thanks. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, so starting with our traps. We have 3 Paleozoic Bakaya. Here's your trade-in of the deck, and we have 3 Candia. It's a Book of Moon. That's at 3. Why not run it? 3 Hallucigenia, which halves any monster's attack and defense, which is good because you can also use it on your own monsters. And 3 MST, Elnodios. And give me a break on the names, pronunciation of these names. They're kind of a little bit difficult to pronounce. That's your old monsters, the old Paleozoics, or which is a set ago, so that's not really too old. For the new ones, we have 3 Lichinadoya. Dolga? I don't know. He sends one from banished one from your returns a banished card from your banished zone to your graveyard. That can be a Paleozoic monster, or that can be any other card. So it can also be like Breakthrough Skill, which I run here. 3 Morello, which is essentially your place starter, because you set him, pass, and then send one to graveyard. You already have 2 Paleozoics in grave. 3 Dinomyscus. I really love Dinomyscus because he's just a banisher of a face-up card. Any face-up card doesn't destroy it, just banishes it straight up. And 2 Eldonia. Now this is the only Paleozoic I run 2 of, because he only gives a monster 500 attack and defense. I don't know, because he's not good enough to run 3. You never really run out of options of Paleozoics, but this has come in clutch a few times. Not gonna lie. So those are all your Paleozoic trap/monsters. The deal is this is essentially your monster lineup of the deck. Every single one of these guys can be special summoned once per chain, so it's not even once per turn. When they're in the graveyard, if a trap card is activated, this is during your turn or your opponent's turn. It doesn't even have to be a face-down card on the field. Like, you can banish a Breakthrough Skill from your graveyard. It can be your opponent's Solemn Strike. Just special summon. Boom. Pretty nasty. Oh, and they're all unaffected by monster effects, so you don't really need to worry about them. Oh, what's a Catastor? Well, do more about Catastor.
Alternative Dragon. Buster Drake. Ignister. You can't, no monster effects will do this. Diamond Direwolf, frick. And they all have 1200 attack and 0 defense, which isn't too much, but it's worth it for what they can do. I run triple Breakthrough Skill. I haven't seen too many people run this. The deal, I like this because it's a trap card you can activate twice, so you can get 2 Paleozoics from it. And B, it's just you can target your own monsters for it, you can target your opponent's monster. It's a card that you can just activate regardless of having to have something set up. And it negates your opponent's monster effects. That's pretty good in itself. Next, I run triple Mind Crush. I was tempted on taking this down or moving it down, but then I realized, wait a second, I don't need to worry about what's in my hand. I can call a blind card in their hand. If I happen to be right, then I send it to the graveyard. If I happen to be wrong, well then, hey, oh great, I have Paleozoics in grave. That's great, and I get a special summon one. So it's great. I just love it at 3. Next, we have triple Waboku. This is fantastic because it can be activated during your turn or your opponent's turn. And it protects your Paleozoics since they're kind of very frail. So you can use them for your Xyz in the following turn. Next, I run double Ceasefire. This goes along the whole mindset of monsters or trap cards that can activate during either player's turn and don't have to have conditions. You're going to be just poking for about 1200 at a time, or just very minimal damage at a time. So this is kind of like a good cowboy or just even just anything. Most of the time you're going to see multiple monsters on the field. This is a format where you're going to see many monsters in the field, so this is actually a really good card. Next, for my the trap cards that you can't just activate flat out, I run Story Mirror Force because, well, there's so many higher attack position monsters. I want to protect my Paleozoics or my monsters while I can. And the Magical Hats. This is kind of a fun tech because you do it and you can just add or set 2 Paleozoic monsters, or you can set a Breakthrough Skill so you can activate it the following turn.
I mean, the deal is that you're also going to get a Paleozoic monster out from this, but the deal is okay, are they going to attack the monster that they're going for, which is probably going to be an Xyz, or because it'll be noticeable because it'll be in a different colored sleeve, or are they going to go for the one that's already in the field? So it's pretty nice. It helps set up plays. I might take it out, but I'll enjoy it for what it is right now. Proceeding on to our monster lineup. We run double Max C, because it's a 2-star monster, and it's Max C, and Max C is really good at this format. And my weird tech of a monster is Al Mirage. For those of you who don't know, this monster, while it's on the field, all monsters lose attack and defense equals to their rank or level times 300. So let's take Blue Eyes White Dragon, for instance. He's an 8-star monster, so 8 times 3, that's 24. So he comes out as 600 attack monster. This monster comes out as 700 because he has 3 stars. You can attack over Blue Eyes. It's just kind of simple like that. Another thing is your Paleozoics aren't affected by this, so they're going to be at 1200 beat stick trying to go over stuff. It's kind of gimmicky, but in the same sense, it wins me games so many times. It's also a tuner, which you'll see here in a few minutes. I prefer these because these are far more budgety. Second, honestly, whenever I went to the Bosch sneak peek, I was like, hey, I really want to throw this into a deck. And so when I was like, oh, let's try Paleozoics, I was like, well, we'll try it in there. And it's been working wonderfully ever since. That is my 5 monster lineup. And 1 spell card, Twin Twisters. I have a few more, and I might put these in side decks, but the person I play most here, Danny, doesn't run too much back row, so it doesn't do too much good then. You could side out, obviously, one of these guys or a Max C, just depending on what your setup is, because your main conundrum will be back row, because obviously your monsters won't be affected by monster effects. So, like Royal Decree, oh, great, Twin Twisters, boom, you're done with that. So that goes up with our 1 spell card lineup. The extra deck is attempting to be a budget-friendly extra deck. There's a few cards in here that you can swap out that are clearly not budget-friendly. But start off with put 3 of Onofia, Open Abaya. What you do is, he is what they needed, really, to make them so good. It only takes 2 monsters, and you can detach Ceasefire material once per turn to add a Paleozoic card from your deck to your hand. Oh, great, you can also use that card the turn you add that, because you can activate Paleozoics from hand. So you can activate trap cards from hand during your turn or your opponent's turn. That's pretty fantastic if you ask me. He also has the additional protection from monster effects. Frick, that's an amazing card. Moving on, we run 3 of Amaryllis. He is the older one. He requires 3, which makes him a little bit more difficult to get out, but he's still fantastic. He is the equivalent of your boss monster, if I could pick one. Once per turn, you can detach Ceasefire Shield, destroy a card on the field during either player's turn. So you can just disrupt plays or just get over what you need to. 2400 attack, which is pretty good. Same as Red Eyes. And then once per turn, if a trap card is sent from the field to the graveyard by activation, you get Excavate. If it's a trap card, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard. It's pretty darn good if you ask me. And moving on, we run 2 Sky Cavalry Centuria. He has a Neospatian Grand Mole. Can't be destroyed by battle. You'll still take the damage, but that's still pretty darn good if you ask me. Continuing with the Centaur thing, we have a number 45, Logos, the Prophet of Demolition. He is essentially a freezer of effects. You can detach Ceasefire Shield, target a card on the field. That target cannot activate its effects, and you can't activate anything else, including effects. So it's like for face-up spells, traps, field spells, monsters, regardless. It's pretty darn good. But, I mean, it's still not as viable as many of these other ones. Herald of Pure Light, because it recycles your Max C's, recycles your Al Mirages, or one of your Paleozoic monsters, adds it back to your hand. I wouldn't say you had to play this, I just pulled it, and so I was like, okay, this card looks actually pretty darn decent. So I throw them in there, and this is not a tight extra deck by any means. This is the non-budget portion. Totally awesome. I pulled them, so I'm going to play them. You don't have to play this. I've done so many duels where I'm just like, I'm not going to play them. And I'll still do pretty darn well. Yeah, if you're watching this profile, you probably know what he does. I don't run the Toads to go for him turn 1 since I'm more of a reactive instead of a proactive player. So he's not as essential in this particular build, but he's there because he's a really good card. An F-Zero, Utopic Future, because all these except for one are numbers, are not numbers, and it's what you use to get over big monsters. Moving on to our Almirage idea, going for Synchros, and Allergestic Catastor. It's essentially an Almirage plus the Paleozoic monster. It's pretty darn easy to go into. And 2 rank 7s, a Black Rose and a Clear Wing. You can substitute any of these for anything else. You can use Armades, you can do Cyframe Lord, what's the 7-star one?
Cyframe Lord Zeta.
Zeta. You could even go for 9s, you could go for a Trishula, if you want to be that ambitious. I just go for these because they've got a board clearer to get rid of pesky stuff, get rid of monsters, and negation of effects. And that'll about do it for my Paleozoics. This is a deck that I just kind of picked up because I really just wanted to have some fun. And I really ended up liking the deck, and then when they announced that we're getting the rest of the support, I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep on going with this. This is pretty darn cool. And it's based off of ancient Paleozoic monsters. I'm like, cool. It's pretty darn cool. It goes with my motif of being an old guy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a very, very fun reactive deck. You can play the Toad engine. I don't because of reasons. You know, it's a lot cheaper this way. If you just ignore the Totally Awesome, I think the most expensive card on the deck is probably Twin Twisters, or Maxi, which aren't even mandatory. It's pretty darn good. You can throw in like regular Mirror Forces or whatever you want to. And that'll be it. Thanks.